Well, we're speaking with Graham Nash. He has got a rescheduled concert at the Fox Tucson Theater on June 20th. It's called an intimate evening of songs and stories. And, from the last time we spoke, Graham, to this time, last time we had some Zoom call issues. Now you're releasing a new album, your first one in 7 years. It's going to be out on May 19th called Now. And I listened to the new song called A Better Life. It's a very positive song, a song of hope. And I really enjoyed it. Can you tell me a little bit before we talk about your concert about the concept behind the new record and all that?
Sure. I thought I was being incredibly courageous to open up the album with a line that says, "I used to think I could never love again." And I used to think that, I made this album when I was almost 80 years old. And Better Life is a beautiful song I wrote with my friend George Merrill, who wrote the #1 hits for Whitney Houston, of course. And I think that Better Life is kind of an extension of Teach Your Children.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Absolutely. Because you're trying to leave a better world is the impression I'm getting.
Indeed, because we need to leave a better world. A lot of people are saying, let's save the planet, let's save the planet. What they really mean is let's save humanity, because if every single one of us died instantly, the planet would still spin, and in a million years another life form would be created. The planet doesn't give a shit about us.
True. We're just here taking up space.
Correct.
So when did you start working on the album? It's your first studio album in, like you said, 7 years. Has this been an ongoing process, or did you start writing it in the last year or so?
I started it in the last year or so. Yes, it was 6 or 7 years since my last studio record, but in that time I put out 11 CDs. I put out my box set, Crosby's box set, Stevens box set,
Mm-hmm.
and the CSNY studio, the stadium tour in 1974. So I've been a busy boy.
Yes, you have. Plus touring as well.
Indeed, and this tour is completely sold out, and I'm really thrilled about that.
Yeah, so you're going to be at the Fox Tucson Theater on June 20th. They're calling it an intimate evening of songs and stories, and you've been doing this 60 years.
Yeah.
When you first started this journey of yours, did you think you'd still be doing it all these years later?
At 81? No, I did not. But I'm very pleased to be here. I'll tell you that, and I'm really looking forward to the shows that I'm going to be doing that I had to cancel last year because of COVID and me damaging my hip.
So what can people expect on June 20th at the concert here in Tucson? Are you going to be like the title? Are you going to be stopping and talking about some of the history of the songs and how they came together? Is it going to be kind of like a behind the music kind of vibe?
Yeah, I think so. A lot of people that don't write music think it's a completely magical time. And in a way, it really is. And here I am, and one of the things I want people to know is that I want to be there to make music for them. I'm a musician, and when I have new songs, I want to share them, of course.
A lot of your contemporaries and a lot of people, like, they hit a certain age and they just want to live off, I'll say, their catalog, their library. You're pretty prolific. You've still been doing this, and obviously you still have stuff to say.
Yeah, I think that it's the duty of every artist to reflect the times in which we live. We have to talk about what's going on politically in this country and the rise of the right wing and the extremists and the autocrats throughout the world. We have to talk about environmental problems that we have. We have to really talk about the truth, and that's what I try and do with my music.
Now, do you ever look back at some of your older stuff because you wrote it as a 20-something, 30-something-year-old, and does it mean something different to you now in your 80s?
No, I just think and hope that I get better at what I do.
So on this tour, who are you touring with? Is it some of your favorite musicians that you've toured with over the past? Who's in your group?
There'll be three of us. There'll be me on my guitar and piano and singing and harmonica, of course. Shane Fontaine on guitar. He's been making music with me for the last 15 years. And Todd Caldwell, who co-produced this record with me, lives in Brooklyn. And he's going to be on keyboards.
So when you find another musician that you obviously you've worked with a lot of great musicians over the years, how do you know when you found a musical cohort, somebody that thinks the same way that you do?
because I don't have to talk to him about what to play.
That makes sense. So it almost just kind of comes together organically.
Yep. And that's definitely what happened with Shane, and that's what's happening with Todd. They love the song. They want the song to live, not their solo. And that's a big difference.
So they're not showboating.
Not since I've been playing with them.
So the new album is called Now. It's going to be out May 19th. So it'll be out about a month before you play here in Tucson on June 20th. Can you give us a little idea of some of the themes of the album? I've heard A Better Life. I got the idea of that one, but I have not heard any other songs. What themes are you exploring on this record?
I seem to be totally in between being in love and being completely pissed off. And then those are the kind of songs that are on the record. There's a song I wrote about the golden idols of the Republicans, Trump and obviously Ted Cruz and Mitch McConnell and McCarthy and stuff. And then Stars and Stripes is a political song about what Trump has done to the truth.
Mm-hmm.
He's completely destroyed the truth with these alternative facts. I never heard of alternative facts. I only know what's right.
Have you seen, like, what do you think when you hear people, and I've heard it, I've been to plenty of concerts where I hear people as they're walking out, and it's usually people who disagree with what they're hearing on stage. What do you say to the people out there, because I've heard it quite a bit over the years, who don't think musicians or actors or celebrities or artists should talk about politics? My personal viewpoint is that's made some of the best music in history, is songs talking about politics and situations going on in the world and current events. What do you say to people who say you should stay out of politics and stay out of that stuff?
I think they need to open their minds and their hearts. I'm a human being. I'm a musician. I've done that all my life, and I look at the world and I check up on what's going on every single day. And when I feel something, I have to write about it. I'm a musician. This is what I do.
Today's poets.
Yes.
What can people expect when they see you on June 20th at the Fox Tucson Theater? What's the night going to be like?
I think they're going to have a couple of hours of peace. They're going to see me wanting to be there, still passionate about the music I create. And I just want people to know that, I want to be there to make music for them. I'm not going to phone it in, and I'm not going to do it half-assed. I'm going to do it, with the same passion I had when I wrote those songs.
And that show again is going to be June 20th at the Fox Tucson Theater. Graham, I'm looking forward to seeing you. I've seen you in the past. More recently, I saw you. I met you in person when you came down here to Tucson after we had that horrible shooting with Gabby Giffords. You came and played a concert for Peace, Love, and Understanding that Alice was at, an Arizona native. And you came over to our booth at KLPX and signed a bunch of stuff for people to sign that we were auctioning off for the victims. So I always wanted to thank you for that, because you actually, you put your money where your mouth is.
I have to be as truthful as possible, Ben.
And one other thing that impressed me is, I was at the LA Kodak Theater. I can't even say how long ago. It was quite a while ago. And I went to go see one of my favorite musicians, obviously a friend of yours, David Gilmour, perform the On an Island tour. And I was really shocked to see you and David walk out, and you were his backup vocalists.
Yep. David and I have sung with lots of interesting people. And I have at least 20 tracks in my computer system of David and I singing with various people, and I've put together an album of that kind of stuff of David and I singing backups with famous people, and it's a really fine record, and I hope one day it will be out.
Oh, that would be fantastic to hear that, because I sat there and watched you two walk out, and I was like, wow, this is a treat. Was
Yeah,
not expecting that.
I love playing with Gilmore. I have yet to hear him play a wrong note.
The guy is a genius. He's absolutely, yeah. It's so Graham, I'm looking forward to I'm presuming your show is also going to be, you're going to play some Holly, some Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and a bunch of your solo stuff. Am I right on that assumption on what your tour is going to be like?
Absolutely, I have a lot of music to play.
Well,
So
I'm looking
I'm gonna go all the way from the Hollies all the way through to solo stuff.
well, I'm looking forward to that. Graham, thank you so much. If somebody wants to stay in touch with you, are you on social media? Do you have a website?
I do, grahamnash.com.
grahamnash.com. And then are you on social media as well?
I am.
All right. And I presume we can get to all that through your website as well. Well, Graham, thank you so
Absolutely.
much. I appreciate you taking the time to spend some time with us before you release your album on the 19th, and also your performance on the 20th of June.
Fantastic, Larry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Graham. You take care, and we'll see you in a month.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.